Alright guys, so this is normally a series I do on my Patreon, which, as always, if you would like to join Patreon and just to see exclusive content, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon where you guys can join like polls and also check out the exclusive videos on there. And if you hit the 4th tier, you can send me videos, you can send me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. Yeah, so non-comic lineup. Is one of those exclusive things I moved over to Patreon. It was one of those things I moved over to Patreon because I was like, yeah, why not? But I wanted to do this as like a show of like what for the newcomers, like the new subscribers, like what this is and what and what you can see over on Patreon. So think of it as like a free sample. Well, free-ish. We're paying for internet. You know what I mean. you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so we're gonna be talking about this non-comic lineup, the Runaways. And if you're wondering, the recent one that was just posted last night of this recording was the Thunderbolts. Was a non-comic lineup of Thunderbolts. Now you may be asking, what is non-comic lineup? Non-comic lineup is basically a series where I take Marvel and DC teams, maybe some Image down the road, and basically revamp the team with characters outside of comic books. So we're talking like movies, anime, cartoons, video games, characters like that. And today we're going to be doing like a young team, and that is the Runaways from Marvel. The Runaways is one of my favorite comics. I absolutely adore the series. The TV show was good. I think it was well done for what it was. I don't remember connecting all that much with it, but I do remember enjoying it for when it was around. Runaways, it was one of my first comics. I remember reading it in high school and really enjoying it. And yeah. So it's been a long time coming to see a Runaways non-comic lineup, and as always, I would love to see what you guys have in the comments below for this, how this team would play out. So we've got about 7 members on this team, and the Runaways is not really a superhero team. If you guys don't know, Runaways was basically a bunch of kids who got together because their parents were working for a race of godlike giants who were going to wipe out humanity, and they were going to put a stop to it. And along the way, they just kind of became more. Like, they ended up meeting, like, one was an alien, like, one of the kids was an alien, one was from a time traveler, a group of time travelers, another pair were sorcerers from the dark dimension, there were others who were, like, the kid was genetically enhanced, also had a velociraptor. There was a lot. So it's not really a superhero team, it's more like a team of misfits. So that was pretty much it. So let's get into it. We've got about 7 members in this team. So let's get into it. And there's no real leader, but our first member of this version of the Runaways is Dib from Invader Zim. Dib makes so much sense to be part of the Runaways. In fact, when I was thinking of this team, I was like, yeah, Dib. Literally, Dib makes so much sense. He's an outcast. He's kind of outspoken. He's very much like the smartest guy in the room, but also the most stupidest simultaneously. He is very much this, I should be better, I should know more, and I want more, and I do want to do more with my, and I really think he would be part of this group of misfits and fit right in. I think he'd also, like, he'd try to say he's the leader, but everyone go, you're not the leader, Dib. You are so not the leader. So I definitely think Dib would be a lot of fun to be on this team of just misfits in general. Next up, and I do have the list right here because I was going to forget it. Next up, we have Luz Nocera from, of course, Owl House. Again, another us weirdos got to stick together, and she just fits perfectly into this. I can see her as kind of like this equivalent of Sister Grimm, and she is just perfect. She's quirky, she's fun, and I think she'd also be like the light of the team. She would definitely be like the one who'd be like, come on guys, we can do this, and also have an existential trauma at the same time, and just be like, well, that happened and we'd all, but we'll be totally okay. We will be 100% A-okay. Totally, totally. I'm gonna go scream in the corner real quick. I'll be right back. It's fine. It's fine. I'll be good. I will totally be fine. Just, I need that corner for about 5 minutes. She's also a master. She's also a master witch in her own right, using glyphs. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think she would be utilized very well on this team, and definitely just a lot of fun. Like I said, she'd be like the heart of the team in a way, and almost like a lighter, like she's very much like the Sister Grimm of this group. Next up, we have Double Trouble from She-Ra, Princesses of Power. Double Trouble would probably be one of the older members of this team, because there have been, like, young adults on the group, too. Double Trouble would be a lot of fun, because Double Trouble literally, like, they are literally a non-binary lizard person who can shapeshift into anyone. That's literally perfect for the Runaways. Double Trouble was another character I was like, yeah, I want to use that one. Because when I was thinking of like characters, I was like, yeah, Double Trouble makes they make a lot of sense to use in here. A shapeshifter, and it would be very close to Zaven. Now, if you guys know who Zaven is, Zaven was a member of the team who was a Skrull prince who was betrothed to Carolina Dean, but Carolina didn't love him because she loved women. And Zaven was like, oh, cool, I'll just shapeshift into a woman, it'll be totally fine. But Caroline's like, no, that's not how this works. Eventually, it was kind of this fun gender identity thing with Zaven until he finally was like, yeah, I want to be a woman all the time. And that was I thought that was pretty fun. It was kind of heartbreaking at the end of that story with him. With her, excuse me. And I think, like, yeah, so it was very, like, when I thought of having Zaven, like, I was thinking of Zaven when I had Double Trouble on the team. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Anyway, so let's move on to our next member, Marcy Wu. I was definitely going to have an Amphibia character on this team because they're all just a bunch of outcasts and weirdos. So, but Marcy would definitely be one where she would be, like, kind of, like, dealing with her own trauma and joining this group, and it was just like, I did a lot of bad things I'm still suffering for, so I'll just hang out with you guys. And I think she'd also be like a fun, like, brilliant collaborator. I think she and Dib would be the best of friends and also the worst of enemies simultaneously. I have no doubt in my mind those two would literally be, like, thinking of all these cool, crazy things while simultaneously yelling at each other and trying to, like, outdo one another simultaneously. It would just be the funniest damn thing ever. Yeah. So, Marcy Wu for this team. Next up, we have Sasami from Tenchi Muyo. Sasami would be a lot of fun because she's literally the oldest member of this team, but also simultaneously looking like the youngest. Remember, Sasami is almost 1,200 years old. Jiraiyan's age incredibly slow. So Sasami, like, I think everyone would be like, oh, Sasami, you're so cute and adorable, and we don't want you to get hurt. And then she's like, I'm 1,200 years old. And everyone would be like, what? So I think she would have a lot of fun. Also, she would bring along Ryuoki, and that would be their ship. Like, almost like just have that, like, Ryuoki go into its ship mode, and all of them are like, we're riding in a cat rabbit. Why does anyone think this is okay? It's just perfect, really. It's really just perfect. So next up, we have Makoto Naegi from Danganronpa. I think Makoto would be another, like, fun outcast and also kind of like the detective of the team, but also I think he would try to he would be the closest to the leader. Like I said, there wouldn't be a leader here, but if there was, like, someone they'd all look to for, like, advice, Makoto would be the one to be like, yeah, we gotta hope and we gotta believe and all that. So Makoto would fill that role. And finally, we have Octavia. No, not from MLP. I'm talking Hell of a Boss, Octavia. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, if this team, I could definitely see Octavia, like, coming up from hell just to run away from her parents. Literally being a runaway and running into this team of outcasts and just being like, you guys are cool, I guess, I'll hang out with you. And that would just be it. That would be Octavia's whole thing, is just, I'm gonna run away and hang out with these weirdos too because they seem nice. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my non-comic lineup of the Runaways. You guys tell me you guys tell me in the comments below, what characters would you have as characters in the Runaways? I know this is a pretty unique team. Yeah, and I just figured, yeah, this would be a pretty fun one and a pretty unique one to really do. And as like I said before, if you would like to check out the Thunderbolts non-comic lineup and the other non-comic lineup videos, as well as vote on them, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, and you guys can hit either the first tier, which is just movie reviews and also polls for videos to do here on YouTube, like you can vote, but the second tier gets you access to the videos. The fourth tier, yeah, the fourth tier gets you videos to do request for me to do here on YouTube. So yeah, other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.